And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Midday Cabaret. We are coming to you live from the Broadway Rose news stage. My name is Dan Murphy. I'm the managing director here, and this is the inaugural episode of our series that will happen every Wednesday at 1. And of course, we want to thank Pearson Financial, who is our title corporate sponsor, has been for years. So thank you, Conrad Pearson, Bonnie Conger, and everybody over at Pearson Financial for their many, many, many years of support. It's been 25 plus years. So thank you. These are unusual times, so we thought how to best deal with that and continue to bring you live performances, which is what we do best. We were going to come to you with this cabaret series. So I hope you'll again join us every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And to kick off our inaugural series, we have a special guest, which is great. He is a very talented actor. He's an incredible musician and a pretty good guy besides. So please welcome to Midday Cabaret, Benjamin Tissell. Hey, Ben, how are you?
Good. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
Good. Great. Hey, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah, of course.
So first, I think what we want to do is kind of catch up and see what you have been up to, especially during this quarantine time.
Yeah. I've been keeping busy. I do have a day job that I'm able to do some things from home. So that's great. I've been able to do that. And I have been just getting really creative. You know, all of us who perform are in that industry. We are getting this chance to be really creative. So I've been doing lots of stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask, one of your survival jobs, you're out there in Troutdale, and one of your survival jobs is out in the wilderness of Troutdale. Is that part of what you're doing in terms of, are you still able to work from home and continue with all that outdoor activity?
Somewhat. So what I do is I run a summer camp. That's why I run the program for summer camp. That's why I don't do shows in the summertime. So right now would be normally when I'm working a lot to plan. So I'm planning, but also planning all the contingency plans in case things happen.
Right. So, planned A through B, C, D, and E. So I hear that. So now, how have you been keeping creative? Because you are a composer and lyricist as well. So how is that?
Yeah, I've made a rule for myself that outside of day job work, that I want to spend as much time creating as I do consuming. So if I go on Netflix for a while, then I have to spend that same amount of time songwriting or something. So I've been posting a lot of new music to my YouTube channel. I've been writing and doing some other projects with different people, collaborating, doing different music things, possibly writing some new work. So
Oh, good. Well, it is a cabaret, and so what we want to give people are a live performance. So we have a couple of songs you're going to do. So would you set up this first song for us? And don't forget, as you tune in, Ben, I want to remind people that they are able to ask any questions they might be curious about, and then we'll go ahead and intermittently we'll put them in our show here. So just be prepared.
Awesome. I'm so prepared. So first I want to do a song from the musical Starting Here, Starting Now by Richard Maltby and David Shire. This song it's the first song I ever sang at a Broadway Rose audition back in 2016. I came in with this song. And I think at that occasion Jeffrey Childs played for me, who's just an amazing pianist. I can play chords and that's about it. So we'll see how this goes. This is called Barbara. Barbara, they ought to name a star for Barbara. For any place we are, it's Barbara who simply floods my world with light. Somehow, whenever I feel lost, it's Barbara who comes along, takes whatever's wrong, makes it seem all right. Someday I'm gonna write a song for Barbara and make it rich and strong to tell her the way I feel inside that somehow never shows. I need her each day it grows, but somehow I think that Barbara already knows.
Hooray! Hooray!
Thanks.
So
you know what, Dan? I'm more nervous performing just for you, sitting there, than I would be if that whole auditorium was full.
Right. Well, this whole auditorium, as you can maybe see behind me, is not filled. In fact, I'm the only one in the building. So,
Wow. Soon we'll all be back there.
Soon you will all be back here. Yeah, that's a beautiful song. I think Richard Maltby had written it for his wife, who was named Barbara. But I think they subsequently got divorced, and he may have taken it out of the show as a result, but I'm not quite sure. But we'll let somebody else Google that one.
Well, it still means something special to me.
Okay, me too. So tell us a little bit more about your writing, because I know you're going to do an original song now. And how long have you been writing songs, or when did it start?
So I started writing songs somewhere around about 2010, and never thought about recording them or anything. I just would do friend concerts in college where I would say to some friends, "Hey, I wrote a couple new songs. Come to one of the practice rooms and I'll play them for you."
Wow.
And that became like a thing that we all love to do. And then in the fall of 2011, a friend of mine, as a gift, bought me a certain amount of studio time to record a demo just with piano, guitar, and singing. And that was my first time ever recording music. And I put that out into the universe, and it seemed to generate some interest. And then I just discovered that writing songs was something that helps me process and helps me think about the world and frame things up in a helpful way. And so I just kept doing it. And so, I put a lot of music out there on Spotify and music streaming services. And some of it is you can definitely hear the growth over time. We'll say.
Do you have those first tapes you made back in 2011?
Yeah, those are way back. Those are still on there and still
I'm sure they'll be worth some big money someday. Just you wait.
Yeah, someday for sure.
Well, set up this tune. This is an original one now you're going to perform for us. So how did this one come about?
This song it's called Remind You, and actually, Michael, who works at the Broadway Rose, requested that I play this song today. And I said, I thought about it. And I thought, oh, wow, that's an old song. I haven't played that song in a while. I can't remember how old it is, but it's an older song of mine. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, that's exactly the song to play right now, because it's about the connections we have with each other. It's about missing one another, and how that connection that we have isn't broken just by being apart. So I thought this would be a great song to sing today. This is called Remind You. I want to take a moment before we say goodbye to tell you I am thankful to have you in my life. So I'll excavate the words, and I'll try to find a tune to tell you how it's changed my life to spend these days with you. Remember in the and a million moments more. When the truth began to show, and a window opened up to see such glimpses of our home. So I won't let you go. No, I won't let you go. No matter where the road may lead, you'll always have a home. For a time we saw the sky unshrouded by the gray. Don't let your heart be terrified by the coming of the rain. The dazzling lights, the winter blinds, still shine behind the veil. And hope is strong the winter long, no sorrow can curtail. And I will remind you, I will remind you, when the death knell sounds, I'll shout it down to remind you of the truth. I will remind you, I will remind you. When you forget your song, I'll sing it strong until it finds you. 'Cause no one is an island alone in life's great sea. I carry you within my heart, and I know you carry me. I don't want to overstate. The things I've learned are true. I just want to say I'm thankful to have spent these days with you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure they're all applauding at home. I know
Great,
they are.
awesome.
I know they are.
Or typing on because they're working from home while they sort of watch the. Yeah.
Right. Wow, that's great. You know, the most recent show, Ben, that you did with us was Ordinary Days. Mm-hmm. And that was a show that was on our short list ever since Sharon, Ellen, and I saw it at the NAMT Festival years ago. And we were so thrilled to be doing this production of it. What was that like? That was a brand new show for you. Had you ever heard of it before?
I had never heard of it until I heard that it was happening at Broadway Rose, and I looked it up and immediately fell in love with it. One of my primary memories of that show was just the caliber of the artists that were involved. Mm-hmm. Every single day, I got to play opposite Kaylee Rhodes, and every single day she pushed me to really and go deeper into the character, into the music, and really work that show and mine it for all it had in it. And same thing with Quinn and Seth, and Eric, who was on stage with us, and Isaac, our director, and all the artists involved. It was like constantly we were pushing each other past what we thought were our comfort zones and into creating something better. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. You just played opposite Kaylee, but you never had contact with Seth or Quinlan.
It was not really.
Fine. That was pretty cool.
A few nods and stuff, but that's it.
Right. And then, of course, one of our big favorite shows we do here at the holiday time is a Very Merry PDX-mas. And you were in our most recent version of that, which is always a lot of fun. Is it fun doing a Christmas show? Overwhelming? Does it ruin the holiday for you?
No, not at all. In fact, I would say it doesn't really feel like Christmas unless I'm doing some sort of performance, something. And that show is no exception. That show is so warm and fun. And sometimes you can overdo it by, too much, having too much to do during the holidays. But I think that was just exactly what I wanted, was like this Christmas carols and some jazz rearrangements. And one day, Dan, one day I'm going to learn how to tap dance, and I'm taking the tap dancing Santa role from you one day.
I will be ready to retire those shoes and the beard and the wig and the stump. Anyway, so we have time for a couple of questions. So let's see if we have a question. Here is one from our girl, Hannah Wilson. And the question for Ben is, how long have you been playing each respective instrument?
Oh, great question. I started taking piano lessons as a kid, but really started making it my own maybe 10 years ago, and I'm still learning. I'm spending some of this quarantine time going through a jazz piano course, so I'm still trying to learn. And guitar, I really only picked up in 2011 or 12 in earnest, picking it up.
Yeah.
And then I also play instruments like banjo and mandolin and
You do?
yeah, but
Mhm.
those have been more like the last 5 years that I've started to pick those up.
Wow. And is it
Yeah.
easy to go from one to the other as string instruments, or?
It
Had it-
is in some sense because your fingers kind of know the idea,
Yeah.
but it's difficult in that the chord shapes are all different on the different
Wow.
instruments. Yeah.
Wow. Well, what I want to do, and we'll have time for some questions, I think, later, is we, of course, want to talk about Fly By Night.
Yeah.
Was when you came in and sang Barbara for us.
Yeah.
And that was another show directed by Isaac that we had absolutely no roadmap for. And it was so interesting to see it unfold. What was that like coming in? Had you even heard of that one at
I had
all?
never heard of it. No, I'd never heard of it. And I was new to the Portland theater scene. I'd done Peter and the Starcatcher at Portland Playhouse earlier that year.
Mm-hmm.
But this was my first big musical and big like lead role in a musical in Portland. So it was in some sense liberating because I didn't have this nobody really knew that show.
Right.
And we could make it our own. We could make it what it was. I didn't have this like ideal that
Yeah.
I had to reach. But it was also really nerve-wracking because we had to create the show from scratch. And Isaac had this bold vision that worked wonderfully, but there were times when we were going, wow, how can we really pull this off? I don't know.
Hey,
and part of the magic was, sorry?
I was going to say there were times on the other side where we were like, hey, how are we going to pull this off?
I'll bet. Yeah. But I felt like that was some of the magic was we were sort of walking that razor's edge of like, this is going to totally work or totally not work. And it ended up being really magnificent, I thought.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I used to say to the audience before they would go in, they'd go, Dan, what is this? And I'd say, look, just stick with it the first 10 minutes. And I promise everything will unfold and you'll catch on.
Yeah.
And they did. And it's a lovely show. And before we get to a song, we actually have, and I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but we have sort of a video with some clips of Fly By Night. So we're going to go ahead and roll that now.
Awesome.
What is endless, what is momentary? Grasping memories that refuse to stay. All my treasures of the ordinary. All my treasures, take them day by day. Then, a burst, the fabric torn before the eyes. A curse. The child born, the parent dies. The instants, moments, a flickering fire on my side.
Pretty cool, huh?
That's so great. That last shot, Malia and I at the top of that staircase, when that was when the lights just sort of went out over the audience. Oh, that's beautiful. Such a moment.
Beautiful. And I just want to give a shout out. There was a reunion of your cast that with a video made of a song from the show. So I'm hoping that people will check it out on the Facebook to really delve in, and everybody that was involved is involved in the video. So thank you for doing that. That's beautiful. And I'm excited for people to go and check it out. So set up the song you're going to do for us now from Fly By Night.
Sure, yeah. This is one of the first songs that happens in the show. It's like the second song, I think. And then it gets repeated over and over. And it's about the character Harold that I played. His favorite animal is a sea turtle. And he is trying to write this song about what it's like to be a sea turtle, because he learns this fact about sea turtles, which is that when they're born in the sand, the eggs hatch in the sand, and then the turtles by instinct move towards the ocean. But when a highway is built on the other side of the turtles. So the oceans are on one side and a highway. When a highway goes through, sometimes the little baby turtles get confused, and the lights and sound of the highway makes them start walking in the wrong direction. And so he feels this as a deep metaphor for his life. Am I going the right way? Am I doing the right things? So he sings a song called Circles in the Sand. And it goes through many different iterations throughout the show, but this is the version he finally lands on. We'll see if I remember how this goes. I just don't know what to do. Maybe I'm a turtle too. Is the highway my way, or do I want a sea of blue? I just don't know what to do. Help me out, I'm begging you. If the highway I pursue, maybe the phone's like home, and there's always an ocean view. When sharks might make me turtle stew. Tossed and lost, adrift and stuck, dazed and phased and out of luck. Is it sea or is it land? Spinning circles in the sand. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Should I choose that sea of blue? Maybe the phone's like home, and there's always an ocean view. Or sharks might make me turtle stew. So I sing la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Sing along, da 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 da. It's easy, there are no words. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. La da 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 da. I don't know how many of these to do. La da 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 da. Let's do one more. La da 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 da. Tossed and lost, adrift and stuck, dazed and phased and out of luck. Is it sea or is it land? Spinning circles in the sand. Tossed and lost, adrift and stuck, dazed and phased and out of luck. How much longer can I stand? Spinning circles in the sand. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Hey, thanks for putting that earworm back in my head.
No problem. No
great.
problem.
Hey, I think we have an opportunity for a couple more questions.
Okay.
So let's see what we have. This is from Zooty Man. Ben, do you have any formal training? I think that they meant that positively. Do you find the things like grad school or higher education are necessary for professional musicians and performers?
Great question. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad it was meant complimentary. Yeah. I have some formal training. I've taken private voice lessons for about 16 years on and off all through college as well. Currently my voice teacher that I go to when I need to work on a piece or I'm having issues with my voice is Matt Hayward, who you know quite well, Dan. Mm-hmm. So voice lessons are always a great idea to tune up your voice. I also studied theater in college. I went to George Fox University. However, I will say I know a lot of actors and performers who don't have formal training. I know some actors in Portland who get booked all the time, who have degrees in things like computer science, which is great, or many, many different things. So I think it really just depends on the kind of training you want. Sure. And it's a different academy to go straight into the professional world and just learn as you go and learn from people and keep your mind open as you're out there. That's a different way of learning than going in a classroom, but both I think can be valid.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. One more question. And this is from Tyrene Bata. A question from Mr. Tissell. I guess she was thinking of your father was here. Um, as a composer, how do you balance keeping true to your artistry while creating something that will be interesting and entertaining for others to listen and relate to?
Man, great question. To be honest, I just try to write the songs that I want to listen to. I mean, I don't often listen to my own music like ever because it freaks me out. But I I'll write a song that feels very true because that's what I want to hear, and I'll write a song that has a catchy melody or an interesting chord structure because that's also what I want to hear. So my music tends to sound like the kind of music that I like to listen to. So it has some folky elements to it because that's where I go. That's what I like. So I think if an artist or composer or any sort of artist just tries to do what's true to what they like and what they want and what they're trying to say, they'll oftentimes end up being original or interesting to others without even meaning to.
Great.
I think, yeah.
Hey, would you remind us where people can listen to more of your music? You said Spotify, and how can they sit back and enjoy that?
Yeah, so if you just look up Benjamin Tissell on Spotify, or if you're an iTunes person, it's on there. It's anywhere that you get online music. I don't do physical CDs or anything, but it's all digital online. And then oftentimes my new music makes it onto YouTube or my Instagram feed first. That's where my new songs will go. So right now I'm doing a series of new songs. The camp that I get to work at has this big empty chapel space that echoes. So I've been making new song videos in there during this quarantine time.
Wow. Great.
Yeah. So I those are the places you can check for different things. I often do covers on YouTube as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to let the cat out of the bag right now, and I'm going to let people know that our fall show opening October 1st, Loch Lomond, you will have an opportunity to once again enjoy Ben Tissell on our boards. So we look forward to we really look forward to getting into rehearsals and performing really live again. So Ben,
yeah, I'm so excited.
Good.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us. Good luck. Stay well. Be safe.
Thank you.
And continue to create so we can all enjoy it.
Thank you.
You're
Good
welcome.
to be with you.
Okay. Hey, folks. Well, that is our show for this Wednesday. And I look forward to seeing you next week when our guest will be David Saffert, who you may remember from Murder for Two. So we look forward to seeing you next week on Midday Cabaret. So see you around the campus.